probably not the best idea to be out here right now. Let's hope it's just maybe a quick thunderstorm for an hour or so, and then we're done.
Camping is so fun when you're doing it with your family. Woo!
Wow! Whoa! Welcome from Martin Dyes Junior State Park here in East Texas, close to the Angelina National Forest. It's a Friday, April 23rd. Another weekend camping trip. This time I'm with my daughter Allison. Weather's a little cloudy and a little bit of rain. It might be some rain later today, but it should be a decent weekend. It's a nice state park. This is the Deus area, but so there are just, picnic tables, and there's a little swim beach here. And we're right across from it. The park is supposed to be full this weekend, so didn't have a lot of options on campsites. And this was kind of a plan B. We were going to go to the Ozarks this weekend, but they're expecting pretty heavy rain, and the campsite we had booked through Hip Camp actually is in a flash flood zone, so that wasn't going to work. Huge trees, which we don't get normally, which is really nice. Gigantic magnolia tree. My daughter doing the whatever the hell the TikTok thing is going on.
It's nature.
And my dog. So here's a campsite. Huge campsite. Cement table. Pretty well kept up. Actually, and I like this, it's a state park, so you just, you have neighbors, but they're not too close, so it's actually okay. Got water over there, and this is our view. So this will be nice in the morning. So I think this will work out. So these are the restroom facilities. Most of the state parks have actually pretty good places. We'll go in and do a quick turn. So shower area. Could be better, could be a little cleaner. Kind of old urinals. Yeah, not too bad, pretty clean. So, looks like we're gonna get a little bit more than I thought in terms of, oh man, yeah, let's go take a look at this. We're gonna get some serious rain here in a few minutes. Allison is gonna love it. This is the first time she's taken a camping trip in a long time, and so I was trying to make it as easy as possible for so she'll want to do it again, but you gotta just have to have a take what you get. That's what we're gonna get here. Maybe it'll blow. Oh, there we go. I think it's blowing east. Yeah. Maybe that stuff will bypass us. Just maybe a quick thunderstorm for an hour or so, and then we're done. You're gonna get a little bit of wet. I mean, it's not terrible. It'll probably stop. It's a thunderstorm. It'll pass in 30 minutes or so.
I am not bothered by it, so
no big deal. We get the tent if we need to. That was a long night. We pretty much rained the entire time. It was a deluge. Um, the weather forecast that I read before I left the house was that it was going to rain mostly in the afternoon and a little bit at night. So I was prepared for that, but I wasn't prepared for literally the all-night rain that we pretty much had. Quite a bit of thunder, but not really much lightning at all. So not too concerned about that. But that's the first time I've used the Gazelle in that kind of weather with just unbelievable downpour. And I'd have to say I'd give it a B. The rainfly is not big enough. It needs to extend down the sides better. I noticed that and I'm talking about literally 2 hours of pretty much constant rainfall, or more, and sometimes very heavy. The bottom sides of the tent were weeping rainwater. It wasn't coming into the tent, but the sides of the tent was extremely wet. You could feel it. So I think what I need to do is, I'm a little disappointed actually with that. I would probably need to look at some sort of adding spray on waterproofer or something to help just repel the water away from that area, because the rainfly doesn't really cover it. It covers the top, and then it channels the water away from the windows at the top, so you can still have the vents open, but the bottom part of the tent, if there's any wind, which there was, the wind is blowing the rain directly against the sides of the tent, so that needs a little bit of work. So anyways, and there's not really an optional rain fight, a longer one that I'm aware of for Gazelle tents. So if you're looking at a Gazelle tent, at least in my experience so far with that, it's fine for normal rain that you'd expect, and not a deluge, but didn't do what I wanted to do last night. You're still dry inside the tent, which is obviously the key, but if you were touching the sides of the tent inside, you could feel the moisture coming through, which was very disappointing. So, but it's turned out to be what looks like it's going to be an absolutely beautiful day. It doesn't look like there's going to be any clouds at all. I think this little bit of fog and mist will burn off here in a couple of hours with the sun. So we'll start to dry out and hopefully go for a few hikes. Probably have to deal with some mud, but it's sandy soil here, so I would think it wouldn't be too bad. Haven't had breakfast yet. The original plan was to just have a light breakfast this morning, quick, and then go. But Allison's still sleeping, and since we didn't sleep that great, well, maybe I have to think of something else. Maybe take a little bit longer. You'll notice how much water is in this reservoir. Look at the docks here. They're completely flooded. So the weather finally cleared. We are on a little hike today. It's one of the basic trails in the state park. We'll get into the swampy areas, and there's a whole bridge network that goes out over the swamp, parts of it, so that'll be exciting. And it's pretty pleasant right now. It's, I don't know, 70 degrees maybe. It's very humid obviously, but really pretty. It's actually really nice right now. We're completely shaded. It's sunny out and humid, but there's a cool breeze and completely in the shade from the forest, so it's actually very nice to be hiking right now. And we're really close to the water, which is great. This pine tree is just, I mean, I know they're not comparison to some of the other trees in like the east and the west coast, but I mean for Texas, this pine tree has got to be 150 feet tall easily. Look at the, I mean, it's just, get Alice in the picture so you can see it. I mean, this is a huge pine tree.
Wow.
I mean, that's like freaking Forest of Endor. That's huge. Just got back from the hike. It was an out and back, 2.2 miles, I think. And we're making dinner, or making lunch. Brody's hanging out. Sleepy boy. And picking up some onions. And we're just gonna do a simple lunch of hot dogs. So, and chips. And hang out. It's a really nice day. We'll probably go over to the beach area for a little bit. And then we're gonna do another hike later this afternoon when it cools off a little bit more. So, thought I'd show you where we had the issues last night with the rain. So, here's my tent. So this whole section, you can see all this where the rain splattered on it, but basically the rain fly works fine. You can see it comes out a ways from the tent, so you can on the inside you can put the enclosures up, but it was this part right here that was constantly getting drenched from the rain because it was a little bit windy. So, and it was just for hours just getting soaked, so it was completely saturated and it wasn't leaking into the tent itself. So it wasn't that the water was coming through, but it was saturated enough to where I think that and the fact that it was humid, the condensation inside just became very, very damp. You know, overall pretty solid, but I think just to improve the overall weatherization of the tent, I got to use some Scotch Guard on that part to do a better job there, and probably reapply it every year, I think, as I don't know how long how long it lasts. So here's my dog. He's got to take his afternoon nap. Brody. Anyways, the afternoon has turned out actually really beautiful. It's warm out in the sun. It's blue skies, warm today. A little bit humid, but the sun kind of burned off a lot of the humidity, and now there's a nice cool breeze. So in the shade, it's absolutely perfect. There's a ton of people here. We're on the side. This is not my ideal scenario, but this is the day camp area. And there's a beach. There's lots of kids, which are great. And they'll all be gone tonight. So bought some firewood as well. Split it apart a little bit already. This is local firewood, and the proceeds go to help the state park here. But I can tell it's pretty wet, so it's probably going to be a bust for a fire tonight. We'll try it out, but we'll see what happens. But I'm not expecting great things. Anyways, it's only 3 o'clock, so we're gonna still just kind of hang out here for another hour, probably, maybe an hour and a half, and then there's another hike that we want to go. That I think I mentioned it earlier. The hike is through the swamp area, and it's a series of like 16 connected bridges that take you through a couple of different sections of the park. So we want to go do that hike, probably an hour or so when it cools off a little bit more. And then we'll come back and make dinner. So, very relaxing weekend so far. This is a loop trail. I think it's around maybe 2.5 miles. I'm really not sure. Easy trail, all flat. But just like this morning, I am My understanding is it rained so much there's a couple of parts where the trail is underwater. And we just got our shoes dried from this morning, so they've been out in the sun all day drying. I really don't want to get my shoes wet again, so we may do an out and back out. We're coming up to the first part. May not be able to make this section. I'm not sure what we're gonna do. Let's see, let's check it out. Brody will do it. Is there a way to go around it?
I mean, I have back shoes, so I'm not worried about it. But
I mean, I don't have.
Dry. As long as it doesn't rain, we'll dry.
Not really,
And
but
we'll have the morning.
yeah, I guess so. Highly recommend the two trails we've hiked today so far. If you're at this state park, they're really easy trails. I think they're great for kids too. It's pretty much flat, and trails are super well marked, so no issues there. And just a lot of interesting things to look at. So if you're here at Martin Dice Junior State Park, I would make time to do the trails. The state park has, which I'm really interested in actually, but I don't have a kayak, but they have a lot of paddling trails in this park. They go up in the reservoir and then the Angelina River. And there's the Angelina River has the COE. It goes through a wildlife management area, and the Corps of Engineers has campsites on the river that you can camp at. They're only obviously reachable by boat, but that's one of those types of I'm really interested in doing a kayak trip at some point like that, but probably have to wait for probably in the fall when it's a little bit cooler and drier, but I've seen some videos on YouTube of guys doing that trip, and it looks amazing. So maybe this fall that might be an option. So. Beautiful night. Just had finished dinner. It was really good, and got a fire started. Wood is kind of wet, so don't know how well that'll go on. We'll see. But it's absolutely beautiful, calm night. Good morning. It's a beautiful, cool Sunday morning. The lake is like glass, and the sun is coming up. It's going to be a completely clear day. So it's turned out to be a almost perfect camping weekend other than the rain on Friday night. So really enjoying the weather. the birds this morning, they started at like, I don't know, 6 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't believe how loud it was. So there was no sleeping for me after 6 o'clock when they started that business. But it was still nice to wake up to, so need to get breakfast going here. We're gonna probably do one more hike and then we'll be wrapping it up. So we're all packed up and we are pretty much gonna head out, but there's a couple trails we want to get before we leave. So I'll show you this map. We're on the wildlife trail, so turn it around so you can see. So the park is actually separated into 2 different units. We camped in the Henhouse Ridge unit over here, and we did our hikes in that part of the park. So now we're checked out. We're in this area here. We're going to do the wildlife trail, and I believe this is I don't know if I guess you can do camping here. So we're going to do this trail, the wildlife trail, and then the island trail. So we'll do that after this one. That is a huge.
Oh my gosh! You can easily walk up it.
I got to try that.
You have to. I'm too scared to go anymore. But
All right, come get Brody. You
Brody.
can't. Wow. Man, this thing is massive. Just massive. Look at, oh my God. I probably could go further, but it's, yeah. It's really, really tall. I'd say, what am I, probably, I'm probably 20 feet in the air already. So this is one of those bridges that, obviously this area, these giant trees, this is always flooded. This is always a swamp. But I think after the rains, this is a lot higher than it probably normally is. But it's very quiet. We saw one snake. I didn't get to see it, but we saw it slither away in the water.
classic.
What's in there, bro? Nothing.
Something living like that.
So this is another absolutely gigantic magnolia tree. I mean, you can't really see the top. It's just enormous, size-wise. It's just huge. Unbelievable. It's like, you just don't see these kinds of trees in Texas normally. I mean, this is just I just didn't expect this size of trees in Texas. I mean, there's some big oak trees here and there, but you know, just very rare to see something that tall. I didn't realize that this the forest here had that kind of size trees. All right, so this is an enormous tree down. This is God, this is just incredible. I mean, like if I slipped, it's like the worst possible scenario. Whoa, it's a little slippery. Yeah, the top of it is slick. Not really. I could go further, but I mean, it's totally supported because the limbs are actually supporting the weight of the tree over the water. Oh, there was a big turtle.
Nope.
This is incredible. Brody.
Come on, Brody.
It's just an enormous tree. I just did not expect these size trees here. I just haven't seen this in such a long time. These kind of trees. All right. Enough of that. Let's turn around.
No.
Brody, get out of there. Let's see if I can do this without slipping.
Brody. Come on, come here. Come on, Brody. Come
There's
here.
my boy.
Come here. Come here.
He's watching. The bro.
Oh!
Whoa! Whoa!
Oh!
Man,
That was so...
that was close. Holy shit.
Are you recording?
Yeah,
Yes!
I'm recording the whole thing.
That was so good.
Oh man, that would have been bad.
You would have eaten it in the most
Oh
disgusting
god,
water.
that would have been terrible. Oh, I mean the water's not deep, obviously, but it would have been.
Ew, it's scummy.
It would have been a disaster. So, okay, no more.
No.
Too old for that.
Yeah.